Alright, today I'm going over Craftsman V20 versus Kobalt V24. Starting out, obviously they're both electric weed eaters right here. And the only reason I bought this one was specifically to make a video, but I figured I'd do a review of it while I've got it. I've been using it a little bit around the yard. Bandit has been watching me. And I thought they were going to be really similar, but there are some really big differences in these. The first one that I noticed was just in putting these together. This one folds up for storage, but to store it, you got to take out two screws from right here, and then it folds up in half. So that's kind of convenient. But this one right here has a sliding storage system like that. So it goes to way shorter storage compared to the Kobalt right here. I really like that about this one. I also noticed that that affects a little bit of the usability of it. You know, if you're super short, you know, maybe you're looking for something that's right along this length instead of the full length of the Kobalt right here. It's another feature that I kind of noticed. I use it at full length, you know, all the way extended, which they are pretty much the same. This handle also adjustable, slides up and down just like that. Another thing I did notice about the handle is that this one's pretty steady right here, does not move at all. Really easy to move back and forth, but you can't move it side to side. There are a couple handle positions, so like this is flat, this is flat, this is flat, right here is flat. So you can comfortably hold it at any of these angles. Compared to the Kobalt over here, this is all kind of rounded. So you can hold it at different angles, but it slips enough for you to be able to do that. Don't know if this is supposed to happen, but turns really easily, but it also moves up and down really freely. Just not as much of an adjustment side by side as the Craftsman right here. Some comparison on using these, they both have a high and a low setting. So this is the Craftsman version, it's high and then low right there. And then over here, 2 and 1. So 1's slower, 2 is faster, a little bit more power. They both have the thumb safety right here. So you click that in and then pull the trigger. One really nice thing about the Kobalt though is that this trigger is not just on and off. By that I mean that when you pull it, you can adjust the speed, so you can go really fast. It's adjustable according to where the trigger position is. Compared to the Craftsman, this is just there's a button, so it clicks in and engages right up here, and then as soon as you let off, it lets out. Another nice thing about both of them is they have a pretty small battery pack. One thing that's nice about the Kobalt is that with it sitting right here, you know, as you're carrying it around, you can click that and you can see how much battery level it has. Here on the Craftsman, you just got to flip it over and then you have your battery indicator back here. While we're back here, this hook right here has come in really, really handy because I keep this stored on the wall in my garage. So you can just keep that out of the way, or like I do, hook it just like that. And I hook this onto my lawnmower when I'm pushing it around so I can carry it all at once. Really convenient. No hook here on the Craftsman, but it does have this indent right here that you could easily just hook it onto a screw or a nail that's in the wall. This is something that's really picky, but I think that the Craftsman does a better job at protecting the unit from scratches than the Kobalt does. I've really not used this a ton, and these scratches right here are from that just after a couple uses of me just setting it on the concrete. And then you can really tell right here, just after a couple uses, it's got all that. Just kind of looks bad. Here on the Craftsman, this rubber right here, you know, if you're resting it upside down, it's going to hit that rubber first. Also, the way that the battery sticks out, the battery kind of protects this around it. You've also got this rubber right here for when you set it down. A little bit better protection. The heads down here are also a huge difference. The biggest one you can obviously tell is single string versus double string. Double string is definitely where it's at. This feels like it does the job a lot better than a single string. These are both the same line on here, but this feels like a normal gas weed eater, just going through, no trouble. I don't have to slow down for tall grass or anything. Goes right through it. This is a 13-inch cut. This one right here is set for 14 inches, but you can move this cutting blade in a little bit to set it for 12. Not really sure why you do that, but yeah, it's there. So when you cut your line, if it's too long, this blade right here is going to cut it as it swings by. Also pretty noticeable, even though this is a smaller cut size, is the size of the guard right here. This one's a lot bigger. I think because it doubles as an edger, like the big one a lot better. Next obvious is this guard right here. Something I didn't really use a ton until I started weeding up against fences and doing edging. So this is a great guard to kind of gauge where the string is gonna be coming at. It goes a little bit past it, but this has been helpful, pretty helpful to tell like level, distance, everything like that. Missing over here on the Kobalt. One big advantage though that I give to the Craftsman is that you can turn this head just like that, and then now it works as an edger. And it does pretty good. I've got another video up that I'll link and show you kind of how it does it. But it does pretty well, enough that I don't feel like I need to get a separate edger. So you can definitely use this as an edger, it's just not as efficient. The very last thing I'll say is the restringing process. Easy enough here on the Craftsman. You do have to remember what size line to get, because these Weedeaters really only take one size line, supposedly. On here, they have a really cool new design. You don't even have to spool it. You just put the new line in, it feeds out the other side, you pull it out, make it even, and you twist this knob right here and it spools it all up for you. I've got videos for how to spool both of these on the channel if you want to watch those and see how it's done. The last difference that I'll mention between these two, this is a bump stop, like a traditional Weedeater, where you bump it on the ground as it's spinning to spit out more line. Compared to over here on the Craftsman, you just push this as it's spinning and it slowly starts pushing out more. The first time I've ever seen it on that Craftsman. Every other Weedeater I've used has been like the Kobalt right here, which is like the more traditional way to do it, but the Craftsman's easy enough. So whatever your preference is on that, let's put them to the test. For the rest of the video, I'm just going to be showing the use of each of them, so if you want to keep watching, go ahead. Otherwise, Bandit wants you to know that neither of these are really dog friendly, but that's okay.